On Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Several cities in Maine are on lockdown this morning as the manhunt continues for the person responsible for several mass shootings there. Wednesday 25 News Now is following the latest developments. Turning now to Victoria County, a suspect convicted of murder stood before a judge for sentencing this week. We'll tell you about the charges he faced and the sentence he was handed down. And we're following the aftermath of Hurricane Otis. The hurricane made landfall in Mexico Wednesday as a powerful Category 5 storm. We have the latest on the trail of destruction left behind.
And we might see some more showers and thunderstorms today. We're going to take a look then a little bit, but the big talk this weekend and next week is that cold front. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around to see those temperatures coming up.
The athlete of the week is only a sophomore and trying to lead his team to the playoffs. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 27th day of October 2023.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Woo-hoo.
It's not payday though. Next Friday is payday.
Next week.
And the time is just about 6:32 on our Friday morning. And it's National Frankenstein Day and it's also Breadstick Day.
Frankenstein Day, that came a little early. Halloween's next week.
I know.
What's that doing here so early?
I do love a good Frankenstein movie though.
Oh yeah? We got some great movies back then.
That ghoulish green color.
Ooh.
Well, Parker, I hear that things are going to be a little
Spooky
on Halloween because it's going to be cold.
Yeah, if anything, Carolina, those temperatures are going to spook you the most, as you can take a look at that in a few moments. Because we are expecting maybe a couple more showers and thunderstorms today as we take a look at that live radar here. Nothing really out here near Victoria City right now, but as we zoom out, well, originally there was a couple showers out there earlier, but now it's looking pretty clear out there right now. So nothing out there right now, so we are expecting those showers to kind of develop a little bit more in the afternoon. We're going to take a look at a video of that tornado, actually. Yes, you heard me right. A tornado went through San Antonio, or around near San Antonio and San Marcos near Texas State University. Look at that. It made all that funnel went all the way down to the ground there. And what's really weird about this is because there wasn't any kind of severe outlook, no watches, no severe outlook, anything by National Weather Service or Storm Prediction Center or anything. So this was a huge, huge shock to all of us meteorologists. But of course, there was nothing in our areas, all out of it was actually all over here near Seguin and San Marcos and Texas State, like I was saying. There was actually one tornado warning that was just northwest of Houston as well yesterday, if I remember correctly. Take a look at the timing of those showers and thunderstorms for today. In the morning hours is when we're expecting to see maybe a few showers out there, but it's not going to really start becoming more widespread and develop until the afternoon hours. You can see here becoming more strong right there. Well, coming up in just a little bit, we're going to take a look at this cooling temperatures because here comes that cold front on Sunday evening. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around to see what those temperatures are dropping to next week. And that's coming up in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. We have breaking news for you this morning. The U.S. has carried out airstrikes in eastern Syria at 2 facilities linked to Iranian-backed militias. The Pentagon says the strikes targeted a weapons storage facility and an ammunition storage facility in retaliation. The facilities were used by Iranian forces to help carry out attacks on U.S. forces over the last few days. On Thursday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the strikes were in self-defense and they are separate from the ongoing conflict in Gaza. U.S. leaders say there were at least 16 attacks across Iraq and Syria against U.S. forces since October 17th. The last known U.S. strike against Iranian-backed militias in the region occurred in March. The military struck a facility. It said it was used by groups affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's unclear if there were any casualties. As the manhunt for a mass shooter continues, communities around Lewiston, Maine are in lockdown. Schools, town offices, and businesses have closed in the area, leaving empty streets and barren parking lots. This all comes as police continue the manhunt for the person responsible for Wednesday's mass shooting. Maine State Police say the shelter-in-place and school closings have expanded to the town of Bowdoin, where the suspected shooter is from. People are being told to stay inside their homes while investigators continue their search. We'll go to Washington for the latest later on Sunrise. Wednesday was Judgment Day for an accused killer. A 50-year-old Victoria man was sentenced in the death of 45-year-old Brandy Schrady. Willard Baugh will spend the next 99 years in prison for murder and tampering with physical evidence in connection to her death. Strady was murdered on July 22nd of this year. Willard Baugh will be 80 years old before he is eligible for parole consideration. We're learning more about a shooting Wednesday in Bloomington that left a man shot in the hospital. It apparently all began with a fight in a convenience store parking lot in the 100 block of South Shepley. The fight broke out around 6:20 Wednesday. Authorities say they were responding to the fight when another call came in that someone was shot. The victim was transported to a Victoria area hospital. Authorities say they have made 3 arrests in the shooting. Authorities arrested 18-year-old Samuel Isaac Barasa in connection to that shooting. He faces a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. 17-year-old Zachary Gonzalez was also arrested in connection to the shooting. He faces a similar charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And 21-year-old LeJames Norman was arrested but released from the Victoria County Jail. He still faces a deadly conduct charge. This is now an ongoing investigation. Mexican authorities said Thursday that at least 27 people have died as powerful Hurricane Otis made landfall along the country's Pacific coast Wednesday. Tens of thousands of residents in damaged homes without electricity awaited help more than a day after Category 5 Otis roared ashore in Acapulco. The early images and accounts were of extensive devastation, toppled trees, and power lines lying in brown floodwaters that in some areas extended for miles. Many of the once sleek beachfront hotels in Acapulco look like toothless, shattered hulks after the Category 5 storm blew out hundreds and possibly thousands of windows. Security cameras captured a security guard's close encounter with a bear. Here is the bear about to strike the security guard right there on your screen. And it all happened in a Colorado hotel kitchen. People reported seeing the bear inside the kitchen of the St. Regis Aspen Resort Monday night. When the security guard went to check, he surprised the bear, which took a swipe at him. The guard wasn't seriously hurt. Wildlife leaders say the bear entered the hotel from a courtyard, passing through several doors to reach the kitchen, following his nose. Unfortunately, they had to euthanize the bear. If going fishing is in your weekend plans, don't forget your bait and hooks. Here's Sports Director Gino Perez with what you can expect to catch out on the water.
Grab your poles, crossroads, it's time to go fishing. In the Matagorda Bay's unusually warm weather has made fishing unusually slow for this time of year. Mainly catches of redfish with a few catches of trout on live shrimp under a popping cork or mullet. In Port O'Connor, bull redfish are numerous at the back of jetties using cut bait or Spanish sardines. In Rockport, speckled trout are good in 2 to 4 feet of water over grass and sand on live bait, top waters, and soft plastics. Good luck and be safe out there. That's your 25 Sports Now Fishing Report.
Thank you, Gino. All right, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:39 on our Friday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. A global hunger strike set to take place on Halloween to hold a subsidiary of Formosa Plastics accountable.
It's day 2 of the manhunt for the suspect in this latest mass shooting. I'm Micah Jacci reporting in Lewiston, Maine. Coming up, a look at the evidence gathered so far.
And coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at that school bus forecast, that allergy report, and you're going to want to stick around and see what those temperatures are dropping to next week. And that's coming up. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking at a live look of North Victoria right there. It's actually, you can see the highway there, loop right there on your screen. It is actually quite warm out there. Maybe nice for some of us, maybe some warm for others. 77 is that temperature out there right now. Like I said, a little warm, but that dew point of 76, gosh, that is like you're breathing in water outside. Make that humidity a high 96% out there, so please. There might be maybe some patchy fog out there, so please be careful if you do see some on the roads. If you're sending kiddos off to school this morning, about 77 is that morning temperature as they're heading out the door, and some isolated showers in the area. But as they head back home in the afternoon, about 3-4 p.m., 86 degrees that afternoon temperature with some isolated thunderstorms still in the areas. Take a look at that live radar. Pretty clear out there right now, but we're expecting all those showers to come up our way later this afternoon. Well, if you're like me, I do not like allergies, so we take a look at that allergy report. Tree pollen is low today, which is good, but that grass and ragweed pollen is what makes those allergies pretty bad, and those are moderate today, so you might want to take an allergy pill. Well, the good news this weekend, yes, your eyes do not deceive you. A 50s are in the forecast for next week as this cold front makes its way to our neck of the woods by Sunday evening, and we're going to take a look at that and more in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The athlete of the week is young, but already making a big impact on the team. Sports Director Gino Perez has more.
At Crossroads, the St. Joseph Flyers football team is on a 4-game win streak, and it's in part to its young running back who joined the team earlier in the year, and he does not have a fumble all season. Sophomore running back Dedrick Callis joined the St. Joseph Flyers football team during the Luling game earlier this year and says they are like family. The running back said he has been playing football for 12 years and got into the sport so that he can live out his dream of making it to the NFL and being able to provide for his family.
It started off with, we started off in apartments, and I was like, Mom, I need to play, I need to start like building up my life with, you know, with us and stuff, and it just carried on from there to now, so.
Callis is the eldest of 3 with 2 younger sisters, and he tries to be a role model for them by staying humble in his accomplishments and asking himself what he can do for his family and his team. When Callis is in the backfield, he has multiple things on his mind to make sure he does his best and does not become a burden to his team.
It's not, I mean, I don't think of myself the fastest on the team. It's like me thinking I'm the slowest on the team. So I feel like when I run in the ball, it's like a dog chasing me. So I'm not looking behind me while I'm running. So I'm just like looking into the end zone.
The 5'8" running back fractured his ankle 2 times after running into a pothole before scoring a touchdown a few years ago. Now he has to wear special socks to prevent high ankle sprains in the future.
I stepped on it, and then they thought I had sprained it. High sprain, swollen, wrapped it up, whatever. And I went back into the game and scored, I think, two touchdowns. I had 4 touchdowns that game. And, I mean, I was playing through a fracture like the whole season, so I didn't realize it until the end of the season.
Callis had a monster game against the TMI Episcopal Panthers, recording his first 300-yard game this season, and also scampered his way into the end zone 3 times on just 13 attempts. This is the second time he has scored 3 touchdowns in a game this year, and Callis has earned the Athlete of the Week and will look to have a similar game tomorrow when the St. Joseph Flyers take on St. Michael's in Austin. That's your 25 Sports Now.
Thank you, Gino. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now, on to the ongoing manhunt for the suspect in the latest mass shooting in America. Law enforcement searching the woods and waterways for 40-year-old Robert Card. The suspect accused of killing 18 people and wounding 13 more at a bowling alley and a bar in Lewiston, Maine.
Overnight, investigators appearing no closer to catching Robert Card, the Army reservist wanted for the deadly mass shootings in Maine. Heavily armed police surrounding a home associated with Card Thursday night. Loud bangs ringing out through the neighborhood as police shouted for Card to surrender. ABC's Aaron Katersky was there.
And a number of tactical vehicles and troops come in, drones, helicopters, and our reporters there heard calling out commands to say, come out. calling the suspect by his name. And the suspicion was that they may have had him surrounded.
But nearly 2 hours later, most of the SWAT teams leaving the property. Police say Card opened fire at a bowling alley and nearby restaurant in the small city of Lewiston Wednesday night, killing 18 people and injuring 13. ABC News learning Card's sister told investigators she thought her brother may have been going after an ex-girlfriend at the bowling alley. 2 counties still under shelter-in-place advisories this morning. Schools and businesses are closed as far as 50 miles from the shooting scenes.
Everybody's scared. I mean, nobody is used to having a shooter in Maine.
According to sources, investigators finding a suicide note at Card's home addressed to his son. It did not provide a motive for the rampage, but contained bank information and what are described as rantings. Card this past summer was treated at a mental health facility after reportedly hearing voices and allegedly threatening to attack a National Guard facility. It appears Card was thoughtful about eluding police. He left behind a cell phone, which authorities have recovered, but apparently Card suspected the phone would be tracked. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Lewiston.
Next Tuesday, a global hunger strike is taking place to hold a subsidiary of the Formosa Plastics Group accountable. This comes after their lack of response to an environmental disaster. In 2016, the plant responsible released large amounts of toxic chemicals into the sea, devastating the marine life and the lives of over 179,000 Vietnamese people, many of whom still haven't received compensation, despite Formosa paying $500 million to the Vietnamese government. The hunger strike will take place after a press conference in front of Formosa Plastics' Point Comfort facility. The time is now 6:47 on your Friday morning. Still to come, black cat crosses your path may not be a bad thing, maybe something to celebrate.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. Well, if you're waking up this morning, we got some good news for you. We've got a big cold front coming our way on Sunday. We'll take a look at what's going on here. We've got that low that's currently coming out of the Rockies. It's going to move northeast into Canada by this afternoon and tomorrow, and that's what's going to bring all that cold air out of the north from Canada into the Great Plains, and you can see that's where that cold front is. And then eventually it's going to have another low come out of the Rockies, and that's what's going to deepen that cold air mass and strengthen it and send it coming our way by Sunday evening. We're going to take a look at that timing right here on the dew points map. It's going to be really humid, really moist up there for the next few days. You can take a look at those dew points, 70 in the mid to high 70s over the next few days. But once that front starts heading over our way, here it comes. Here's that dry, cold air mass in brown, and all that humid air mass is in green. About 9-10 p.m. is what we're expecting on that timing for that front on Sunday. And after that front rolls through, look at that on the 7-day, 50s. Yes, 50s on the forecast ahead of Halloween next week. Your eyes do not deceive you. We're going to take a look at that more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. It's National Black Cat Day. It's time to celebrate one of the most overlooked felines. These dark creatures of the night captivate our imaginations around Halloween time, but they're really not creepy. It's just an old superstition. Black cats are just as loving and affectionate as any other kitty. Their unlucky reputation helps keep them among the least adopted cats at shelters, so buck that trend and show a black cat some love. Some famous cats that I can think of that are black cats are Luna from Sailor Moon and Binks from Hocus Pocus. See, they're sweet cats. Okay, let's take a look at our viewer poll. We ask you, are you a superstitious person? Okay, let's take a look. 25% of you say yes, you are. And 75% of you say no, you are not. We want to keep hearing from you. And we want to see you be nice to those black cats. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And still to come on Sunrise News to Know Before You Go. Early voting runs through next Wednesday. Breaking news, the U.S. has carried out airstrikes in eastern Syria at 2 facilities linked to Iranian-backed militias. The Pentagon says the strikes targeted a weapons storage facility and an ammunition storage facility in retaliation. The facilities were used by Iranian forces to help carry out attacks on U.S. forces over the last few days. On Thursday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the strikes were in self-defense and they are separate from the ongoing conflict in Gaza. U.S. leaders say there were at least 16 attacks across Iraq and Syria against U.S. forces since October 17th. The last known U.S. strike against Iranian-backed militias in the region occurred in March. The military struck a facility it said was used by groups affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's unclear if there were any casualties. Early voting in Victoria for the November 7th election continues. The numbers from the election administrator look like this. 211 people voted in person early Thursday, and 667 people have voted early in Victoria County so far. 33 mail-in votes were received Thursday, a total of 329 mail-in votes received so far. And in this Texas constitutional amendment election, Proposition 6 would create the Texas Water Fund to help in financing water projects in the state. The Texas Water Fund would be run by the Texas Water Development Board. Proposition 6 would create a special fund in the state's treasury outside the General Revenue Fund. The money from this fund would be used to fix aging and failing pipes and to build out new water supply. Election day is Tuesday, November 7th. Texans are voting on 14 constitutional amendments. Early voting runs through next Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and next Thursday and Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can vote at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center at 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A. Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips announced Thursday he's running for president, kicking off a long-shot Democratic primary challenge to President Biden. He made the announcement in a clip posted online. He's expected to formally announce his campaign today in Concord, while he'll file to run in New Hampshire's Democratic primary. The three-term congressman recently left his House Democratic leadership position in the face of intra-party frustration over his calls for a Biden alternative. Phillips has argued the president would be a weak general election candidate due to his age and low approval ratings. It may not officially be winter, but residents in parts of North Dakota are dealing with their first major snowfall of the year. Many have brought out their shovels, snowblowers, and plows to clear their sidewalks and driveways. Nearly a foot of snow buried parts of North Dakota. The weather slowed travel and plows were out treating the roadways. Some areas expected to see anywhere from 9 to 16 inches through this morning. Wow. If you are summoned for jury duty Monday at the Victoria County Courthouse, you are asked to not appear. Monday's 8:30 a.m. jury duty session is canceled and will not be rescheduled. Again, this is for the jury summoned Monday at the Victoria County Courthouse. You do not need to appear. Texas sued the Biden administration Tuesday, claiming that Border Patrol agents illegally destroyed state property by cutting through concertina wire. That's a type of barbed wire on the banks of the Rio Grande to assist migrants to illegally cross the border. Read the story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Okay, now we have time for a final check of our forecast with Parker.
Thanks, Carolina. And good morning, folks. If you're all waking up with us, we're looking at a live look at Port Lavaca, where it is quite warm and quite humid down there this morning. 80 degrees that morning temperature with a high dew point of 77, making it 90% humidity up there. It's like you're breathing in water down there on the coast. Well, if you're waking up with us, we're going to have some showers today and thunderstorms maybe again today. Take a look at that timing. Morning hours, probably a couple showers out there, but it's really going to start picking up going into the afternoon hours as that heat starts picking up. Well, looking at the rest of this weekend and next week, we've got some good news for you. We got a cold front coming on Sunday evening. We're going to take a look at that timing in a second, but that's going to be dropping us quite a bit in the temperatures next week after this new low that develops in the Rockies is actually going to reinforce that cold front coming our way and deepen it into southern Texas. Look at that timing on the dew points map. It is going to be a humid one, another hot, or not hot, but warm and humid next few days. You can look at dew points in the mid to high 70s over the next few days. But as that cold front arrives coming out of the north, here's that brown, dry, cold air mass coming down out of the north. And it's going to be dry about 10 p.m. Sunday evening when it's going to come through. But it's going to be dry over those next few days and cool. But look at that 7 day as that front comes through. We are in the 50s for Halloween next week, so you might want to bundle up for this trick-or-treating. That's it for the weather. You have a fantastic Friday.
Thank you so much, Parker, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful start to your weekend, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Join James, Green, and Gino today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10, and don't forget about Crossroads Football Live.